Create Art Podcast. Commentary, Arête, or the ancient Greek ideal of pursuing excellence. Hello friends, this is Timothy Chemo Bryan, your head instigator for Create Art Podcast, where I take my over 20 years in arts and education and help you tame your inner critic and create more than you consume. So at the time of this recording, it's 2023, and I gotta say, my wife got me a great Christmas gift last year in 2022. She got me this deck of cards, and it's not a normal deck of cards. It's called Kickstart Creativity, 50 Prompted Cards to Spark Inspiration, and it's by Bonnie Smith Whitehouse. And I'm sure we'll have links to this where you can get it in the show notes. So with Kickstart Creativity cards, there's the action cards, which offer an opportunity to experiment or play with a surprising, joy-inducing method sure to stretch your creative muscles. Each card suggests and briefly describes a specific action. There's also perspective cards, which are green, and they reveal a fresh mindset, a different lens, or an illuminating way of viewing one's work, of the work you have before you. Creative spirits past and present will often be invoked on perspective cards. Yeesh. And then intention cards invoke a deeper service, value, significance, or meaning to which you and your work can aspire. Now, you can, draw one card at a time. And if you do that, just, draw any card as a daily or weekly practice. Or, draw one when you need a quick hit of inspiration. You could draw two cards, draw paired juxtapositions. And how they do it is, like a red and blue card or a blue and green card or however. And that is... Actually, no, you have to draw an action card and one intention card. And it could help you or your collaborators imagine how a project could aspire to serve your community or world on a deeper level. Or you can draw three cards. And you divide the deck into action, perspective, and intention. You draw one from each pile, and you construct a narrative, action, perspective, and intention for the work you are doing or for the path ahead. So what am I going to do with this? Well, I'm going to try to do it once a week, and I'm going to read off the card to you, see what it's all about, and then I'll do my commentary on it and let you know what I think about it. So here is today's card. All right, so today's card is a intention card. So it's a blue card. And the word for today is, and I'm probably going to mispronounce it, but it's arete, A-R-E with a little thing up top, T-E. And what that is it's an ancient Greek ideal of pursuing excellence. And what the card says is when a person or thing embodies its full potential, that is arete. But excellence should not be confused with perfection. Excellence is the commitment to strive, to be diligent and undeterred. Furthermore, we are called not only to recognize the potential for excellence in ourselves, but to look for this potential in others as well. Now, there's three things with this. The first thing is construct a list of people who seem to be striving towards excellence. Make a note of why each person inspires you. So that's what I want to do here first, is a list of people that inspire me. And why each of them inspire me. So, with this whole pursuit of excellence, the first one that comes to mind is actually Chris Demos of the Podfest conference down in Orlando, Florida. And why am I picking him? Well, here's the thing: he has a certain way about him, and well, long story short is, well, it's going to be a long story. This certain way about him, I met him, gosh, it was like 2017. Yes, it was 2017 at DC Podfest. And I had just 2 weeks previous gotten neck surgery. And my throat was just tore up from the floor up. And my voice was horrible. And he was doing he was promoting his conference at the conference, but I walked up to him and I talked to him as best I could, and kind of told him, hey, I'm a newbie kind of podcaster, and I'm a new person, and da 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 da. And he sat there and he talked with me as best as I could talk, and then the next time I saw him was at MapCon that next year in 2018, September, I believe, 2018. And he remembered me, and he remembered, I talked to him about my kids and what I was doing, and he asked about my neck. And then he, when the pandemic hit, he took his conference online. He wasn't the first one to do that. Joe Pardo was, and I'll talk about him in a second. But he was, one of the biggies that his conference was the last big one before the pandemic hit, and he took it online. And he's got this whole team behind him. Now, I've never been to Podfest in person at the time of this recording, and I'm recording it in January of 2023. So he took it online, and from what I understand, the feeling from the in-person was the feeling that you got online. And his warmth and personality really came out. And, he would message me, kind of in the background and go, hey, how are you doing? And I'm sitting there going, there's literally 5,000 people here. And you remember me? There were 5,300, however many it was. And he remembered me. And I was blown away by that. So I had gone to a few of his online online conferences. And, I hope by the time that you hear this, it'll be, wow. Probably not going to be till 2024 when I will go to his conference. I'm working towards that goal. But one of the things he did was, do a book called Start Ugly. And now I'd already been podcasting for a long time before that book came out. But I got the book, I bought the book, and it really, I want to say I got really interested in podcasting about 2016, 2017. I got really serious about it. And then when I read that book, I got really serious about podcasting on a bigger scale. So I started Ugly with one company, and I moved to another company and started Ugly there too. And, it worked, and it led to some really great things. So, I try to, I am myself. I am who I am. Sometimes I'm a mean, angry bear. Sometimes I'm a extrovert that just hates people. But I try to embody his warmth, his personality, his presence to be there in the moment. And if that moment's a year later, he's back in that same moment with you. So that's something that I find is striving for excellence, and I want to do more of that. The other person I'm going to talk about is Joe Pardo, otherwise known as Super Joe Pardo. And similar story with him. He runs a podcast conference, and he's got a couple of podcasts of his own. And he, heard about this podcasting thing, and on a flight, he drew up his logo. He came up with a name for the podcast, and he ran with it. And he's done pretty well for himself. He's a big name in the industry of podcasting. So on this side of the mic, a lot of people know him. On the other side of the mic, on your side, you may not know him. But he had that same determination that, people can say, oh, this is a fad, it's going nowhere, or you have no business being here. You don't have the experience to be here. He doesn't care. He just goes for it. He's a entrepreneur, and I love that entrepreneurial spirit of, hey, we're just going to go for it. And we're going to see, we're going to believe in it. We're going to make it happen. And now, has everything both of these guys have done been perfect? No. Chris starts ugly. Joe, he just sees the super in everybody. So these are two folks that I look at, and I see them striving towards excellence, and I take note of each person. The next part of this card says to look around your immediate surroundings and pay homage to an object in your life that embodies excellence. And so what, I'm honoring the object in my life that embodies excellence is this whole podcasting thing. It challenges me. And when I first started in 2006, it really challenged me. And I wasn't serious about it. I was just thinking, oh, well, people will find it and love it. And, they'll be as weird as I am. And we'll all go on our merry way. And that didn't happen because I didn't put the work into it. As I said earlier, about 2016, 2017, I got serious about podcasting, and I learned more about it. And I thought, let me put some work into this. Let me really put, some thought behind it. And then towards the end of 2019, I really wanted to push podcasting into where I worked. And it just didn't work out with that job. So the next job that I got, one of the reasons they hired me is because I know how to podcast. And it took some time for people to, change their mind and everything. And they really did. They changed their mind. And now the company that I'm with, we're doing a lot of podcasting, and almost too much. And hopefully I get to change job titles there and just be the full-time podcaster, producer, voiceover actor, whatever they have me do. I don't care. I'll sweep out the stuff. I don't care. But that's what I'm paying homage to, is that I've been an artist for a long time, but I've really put in a lot of hours and a lot of work and a lot of heart and a lot of sweat and a lot of tears and a little bit of blood and who knows how much money. We're not even going to think about that. But this is something that I've really worked hard towards. Now, my graduate degree, did I work hard towards that? Oh, yes, I did. I worked my fingers to the bone. I walked uphill to school both ways, barefoot in the snow, being chased by wolves over nails. I don't know. I worked hard for that, but I also have been working very hard for podcasting, and it's worked out pretty well. I'm in your ear right now, so that works for me. Then the last part of the card says, arete is also related to valor. And before I get to that, it's a Greek word. If I'm terribly mispronouncing it, shoot me an email, Timothy at Create Art Podcast, and let me know that I'm saying it wrong and correct me, please. I appreciate that. But it's this word is also related to valor. What brave move could you make right now that would put you on a path towards the most excellent version of yourself? So I've pretty much already done that brave move, and that is really pushing it at my day job to turn my day job into being a podcaster, being a full-time podcaster, and telling the stories of the people that I work with to our entire workforce, and to the external workforce that doesn't know everything that we do for the place that I work for. So that took a lot of guts, and there's risk to it. If it doesn't work out, then what am I going to do? It's not as much risk as entrepreneurs like Joe Pardo do, or like Chris Domos does. I mean, if they fall flat on their face, oh, it hurts. For me, the job that I have, if the podcasting doesn't go through and doesn't take off, I'm okay because I've pretty much got a guaranteed job where I'm at. Pretty much guaranteed, not 100%. I really got to mess up to not have it work out. But my company is known for moving very slow, so I think I'll be fine. But there is some risk to it, I would have to go back into, my current job title right now, and would I want to go back into that? Would I go to other branches of this company that I work for, and risk it there and start over, for however long I need to start over. So there is some risk to it, and my bold move is pushing in all my chips and going, let's do it. So I need to impress them fairly quickly with what I can do and what my skills are. I'm going to have to show them all the work that I've put in since 2006. And especially since 2016, 2017, and especially since 2019, I've put in a lot of work for this. So I'm crossing my fingers, and I hope it's going to happen. I'm going to do everything that I can do to make it happen. So I definitely want to thank you for listening to my commentary on this, and I hope you pick up these deck of cards from Bonnie Smith Whitehouse. It's called Kickstart Creativity. Let me know what you think about these. Everything will be in the show notes, so you'll be able to see everything there. So I'm hoping you're out there striving for excellence, just like I am. Well, that was today's card. I appreciate you taking a listen to this podcast, and I really appreciate the time that you put into it, and I hope you appreciate the time that I put into it. I do want to ask you a slight favor. If you got any benefit out of this, I'd ask you to go ahead and share it with a friend. Whatever app you're using, if you're on my website, go ahead and give them the website. If you're using an app, share it through your app. There's lots of different ways, lots of different apps out there. So I'm not going to go through them all. But yeah, go ahead and share it with a friend. I don't mind. Don't mind at all. The other thing I'd like to ask of you is that if you have something going on in your neck of the woods, or if you have, a piece of art that you're working on that I can help you out with, Or if you want to get your work out there to other people, I'd be happy to interview you on this show. You can email me, timothy@createartpodcast.com. And I'd be happy to get back with you and talk about it and see what we can do about that. The last thing I'm going to ask of you, and I know I'm asking a ton, and I apologize for that, but could you go ahead and email me and let me know what would make this a 5-star podcast in your eyes? I'd like to know about that. You can, a lot of the apps out there, you can comment right there on the app and leave your review or all that. And by all means, go ahead and do that. Even if it's not a 5-star, if it's a 4-star, if it's a 1-star, go ahead and do that. But what I would ask you to do, please, is to go ahead and email me. Same email address, timothy@createartpodcast.com. And let me know what's going to make this a 5-star podcast for you. Now I'm going to release you to the rest of your day. I hope this was enjoyable for you. I know it was enjoyable for me. So go out there. Tame that inner critic. Create more than you consume. And go out there and make some art for somebody you love, yourself. I'll talk to you next time.